Good day, students. You're welcome to another class. Hope you're having a nice time at home. Today we are going to be looking at methods of raising funds from the capital markets. Methods of raising funds from the capital markets. In our previous class, we considered the money market, and we defined the money market as the market for raising short-term funds. Today, we'll be considering the capital market, methods of raising funds from the capital market. And the Nigeria Stock Exchange is a market for the trading of securities, bonds, and other stocks. Today we have three specific objectives. The first one is define capital markets. 2. State the functions of capital markets. 3. List 4 methods of raising funds from the capital markets. So these are the objectives for today. Firstly, we are going to define capital markets. I told us earlier on that money market is a market for raising short-term funds. Today, our emphasis will be on capital markets. So what is capital market? Capital market can be defined as a market for long-term finances or loans. Capital market can also be defined as a financial market in which long-term debt or equity backed securities are bought and sold. Previously, I showed us a little picture of the Nigeria Stock Exchange. The trading is done on the floor of the stock exchange. Securities traded in the market include shares, debentures, bonds, debt instruments, and others. We are going to look at the types of capital markets. We have 2 types of capital markets. Number 1, we have the primary market. 2, we have the secondary market. We have 2 types of capital market. 1, primary market. 2, secondary market. Then we are going to define primary market. The primary market is also known as new issue market. You must note that. It's also known as what? New issue market. Primary market deals with the issue of new securities or shares. This category of issue is issued to investors for the very first time. That's why we call it primary market for new issue. Then the next one will be definition of secondary market. What is secondary market? Secondary market is also known as stock market or stock exchange. It's known as stock market or stock exchange market. This is the market for trading already existing securities. And the securities include shares, debentures, bills, bonds, and others. These are the securities traded on the secondary market. Shares, debentures, bills, bonds. The next thing we are going to consider will be the functions of capital market. The functions of capital market. We have few functions we are going to consider. The first function is that the capital market makes trading of securities easier for investors and companies, because investors, they are looking for where to put their money so that at the end of the period, at the end of the year, they have returns. So at the end of a particular period. Also, companies also go to the capital market to access funds for expansion or for certain projects. Government also go to the capital market to also raise funds for developmental projects. So the first function is that it makes trading of securities easier for investors and companies. In our previous class, we listed examples of companies, and we said we have the following: Dangote Cement PLC, Dangote Sugar Refinery PLC, Nestle PLC, Cadbury PLC, and others. The list there are many. Number two, it helps minimize transaction costs and information costs. It helps minimize transaction costs and information costs. Because if you visit the stock exchange market, information that you need as an investor will be provided. So you minimize cost. You can also access the website to get further information. Number three, it mobilizes the savings of parties from cash and other forms to financial market. It mobilizes the savings of parties from cash and other forms to financial market. So people, the investors, they are looking for where to invest their money. So the capital market provides that platform so that the investors, those that want to save, so that in future they can reap reasonable returns. So it helps in the mobilization of savings. Number four, it offers insurance against market risk. They achieve this by offering insurance against market or price threats through imitative trading. Number five, the capital market helps in the facilitation of transaction settlement. It helps to facilitate transaction as well as settlement, because those that want to sell their shares, they will be there. Those that also want to buy, they will also be there. So it helps to facilitate the transaction for those that want to sell, and also for settlement for those that are ready to pay. This is achieved through definite time schedules, because everything moves with time. It also provides regular information about the value of security. It provides regular information about the value of security. You can also access other information through their website. You can also get them from the newspaper publications and through other platforms. The next thing we are going to consider will be methods of raising funds from the capital market. I told us earlier on that today we are going to be considering methods of raising funds from the capital market. The following are methods by which a company can raise funds. And I also mentioned that companies, they make use of the capital market to raise funds for expansion of their business so that they can become market leader and also to diversify. I also told us that government also make use of the capital market to raise funds for projects, maybe electrification projects, construction of roads, building of bridges, and others. Then we are going to look at 5 methods of raising funds from the capital market. 5. We are going to consider 5. We have more than 5, but we are going to limit ourselves to just 5. Number 1, we have offer through prospectus. In our previous class, we defined prospectus, but we are also going to revisit that. Offer through prospectus. Then number 2, offer for sale. Number 3, right issue. Number 4, private placement. Then number 5, by introduction. So we listed 5 methods of raising funds from the capital market. 1, offer through prospectus. 2, offer for sale. 3, right issue. 4, private placement. 5, by introduction. So we are going to pick them one after the other. Firstly, offer through prospectus. Prospectus is a document used by companies to invite members of the public or investors to invest in their company. For those companies that are coming up, for them to raise funds, they can use the prospectus to invite the general public to invest in their company. It is a method used in the primary market to raise funds. Earlier on, we listed 2 types of capital market: the primary market and the secondary market. So if a question is raised, which of the markets can we place offer through prospectus? Let me give us 2 options. A, the primary market. B, the secondary market. The answer will be the primary market. After a prospectus is issued, the public subscribes to shares or to debentures. So the first one, offer through prospectus. And we mentioned that the prospectus is used to invite members of the public or investors to invest in a company. Number 2, offer for sale. Offer for sale. By this method, issue of shares is allotted to an issuing house, which offer the securities to the public by means of a document called offer for sale. And we have several issuing houses. The issuing house or the issuing houses can be the finance house or merchant bank. So that's offer for sale. By this method, issue of shares is allotted to an issuing house, which offer the securities to the public by means of a document called offer for sale. So you must note that. And we have several issuing houses. Then I also mentioned merchant bank. Number 3, right issue. Right issue. A company can raise further funds by issuing shares to existing members or shareholders. Note that to existing members or shareholders on favorable terms. In reality, when a company is seeking to expand or in need of additional funds, they first turn to their current investors. They turn to their shareholders. They say, shareholders, we have right issue for you because you have been wonderful. Over the years, you stood by us, you gave us your money, so we have right issue. We want you to expand or to increase the volume of shares that you have with us. And in future, it will also lead to more dividends for the shareholders. The current shareholders are given an opportunity to further invest in the company. They are given the right to buy new shares before the public is offered the chance. For example, if I own shares with, let's say, First Bank Nigeria PLC, if I have 5,000 units and First Bank decide to float right issue, I was like, that's cool, let me invest. I'm an existing shareholder, so I can decide to say, okay, let me buy additional 3,000 units or additional 10,000 units. If I buy additional 10,000 units, I was having 5,000, and now I want to increase my shares. I'm getting 10,000 units. Now, if I add the 10,000 units to the 5,000 I already have with them, it means I now have 15,000 units. And in future, if dividend is paid, more money will be coming to me. So that's why a rights issue gives the already existing shareholders the opportunity to increase their investment and also to make more money in future. So that's right issue. The number 4, private placement. And before we go to private placement, right issues have several benefits because the shareholders, they have right to participate in the business, right to more dividend because their unit has increased, so the dividend will also increase. Number 4, private placement. Under the private placement, the company will sell its shares to financial institutes, to banks, to insurance companies, and some selected individuals. Private placement. It's not for the general public. That's how we call it, private placement. The company will sell its shares to financial institutes, banks, insurance companies, and in some cases to some selected individuals. This will help companies raise funds quickly, economically, and efficiently. These are some benefits that we can derive through private placement. Funds will be raised quickly, and they will also be done in an efficient manner. Such companies do not sell or offer their securities to the public at large, as in the case of offer through prospectus. They invite the general public to buy shares. But for private placement, the reverse is the case. They only sell their shares to some financial institutes, banks, some insurance companies, and some selected individuals. Such companies do not sell or offer their securities to the public at large. You must note that. And I also mentioned that they do this in order to raise funds quickly, economically, and efficiently. Also note those three elements. Number 5, by introduction. By introduction. A company can apply to the stock exchange for sale of its shares to the public. The offer for a new issue of shares will be done through the stock exchange by introduction. So we have looked at 5 methods of raising funds from the capital market. We mentioned offer through prospectus. And I also mentioned that the key thing you must note is that the primary market is used under this. We also mentioned offer for sale. Under this, shares are issued or allotted to issuing houses. Then we mentioned rights issue. That this kind of method is used to invite the already existing shareholders to increase their investment in the company. They don't give it to the general public, but firstly to their shareholders, to give them that opportunity to increase their investment. Then we mentioned private placement. And under this arrangement, shares are issued to financial institutes, to banks, to insurance companies, and in some cases, some selected individuals, not to the general public. Then we mentioned by introduction. That under this arrangement, a company can apply to the stock exchange for sale of its shares to the public. The offer for a new issue of shares will be done through the stock exchange. Now it's time to look at the few questions we have from what we have considered so far. Methods of raising funds from the capital market. So our first question is, what is capital market? What is capital market? And we defined capital market as a market for raising long-term funds or finances. Number 2, mention 2 types of capital. 2 types. 1, primary market. 2, secondary market. And we said the primary market, they are for new issues, while the secondary is already existing shares. Then the next question, state 4 functions of capital market. And we mentioned that 1, it helps in mobilizing savings. It helps in mobilizing savings. And we also mentioned that it helps to minimize transaction costs and information costs. We also mentioned that it offers insurance against market risk. We also mentioned that it provides regular information about the value of security. Then we mentioned that it makes trading of securities easier for investors and companies. Now the last question. List 4 methods of raising funds from the capital market. 4. Number 1, we have offer. In our lesson we mentioned 5. So if you ask, it's not compulsory that you must mention the way we listed them through prospectus. No, you can pick from number 5 by introduction. You can pick from any. So we mentioned the question is list 4 methods of raising funds from the capital market. And we said offer through prospectus, offer for sale, rights issue, private placement, and the last one by introduction. Now I have just 2 assignments for us, home fun, so you can play around them. The first one is state 4 differences between debentures and shares. The second one is state 4 features of capital market. So just play with the assignment. It's part of our home fun. For questions and submission of your assignment, kindly use the following channel. The WhatsApp number is there. You can also use the email address there, aremubarogun@yahoo.com. I'm sure we have enjoyed today's lesson. Methods of raising funds from the capital market. Ensure you do your assignment. Thank you and stay safe.